Steve Robbins here, and welcome to the Get It Done Guys, quick and dirty tips to work less and do more. Today's tip is about decisions. The bottom line, if it costs more to research and make a decision than the impact that decision will actually have, flip a coin instead. In my first corporate job, we needed a laser printer for our programmers. The executives met to discuss it. After all, a $600 laser printer would only save 12 programmers hours worth of hassle. The marketing department had one, true, but then they needed one. Otherwise, how could they print drafts of the billboard they erected celebrating the company's quote-unquote great beginnings? In the end, they didn't buy the printer. The programmers would just have to make do, and at night I lay awake wondering, was this somehow my fault? In retrospect, perhaps I overestimated my own importance, but I didn't overestimate the decision's importance. The decision not to buy the printer took 4 executives 3 one-hour meetings to make. The executives made about $100,000 a year apiece, which is $50 an hour. Multiply by 4 executives and 3 hours, and we're talking $600 worth of management time to make that decision. They should have just spent the $600 on the darn printer. This was the first time I saw that decisions cost money. And if it costs more to make a decision than the amount you're deciding about, it's more sensible just to flip a coin or spend the money without further discussion. That's why some businesses don't even require receipts for small expenses when employees travel. It's cheaper to reimburse $5 than to handle the paperwork to document the expense. In my example, the cost was the executive's salaries, but indirect costs can mount up as well. The cost of delays while the decision's being made, the cost of the distraction of having to make the decision, the cost of gathering information, and so on. And sometimes, researching one decision leads you to expand the issue way too much. For example, hypothetical, imagine the motor in your front-loading washing machine burns out for the 6th time, and you decide to buy a new washer. You call a saleswoman, and she recommends an $800 model, but you want to be sure you're making the right choice. So you demur, and research begins. You subscribe to consumerreports.org. You print descriptions of dozens of washers and compare them feature by feature. You call the store and ask about delivery options and service plans. And you realize you can have your dryer venting cleaned as long as the workman will be poking around. And, since you're moving the dryer to get at the duct, maybe you should just buy a new dryer to match the new washer. Soon your $800 purchase has become a major renovation. Your research gave you so many overspending opportunities that now you're spending thousands on an extra appliance, delivery, and duct cleaning. Oh yeah. And during the project, you'll be driving your laundry to the laundromat and spending 2 hours a week doing laundry in bad lighting. You just spent hundreds of dollars, 12 hours of research time, 6 hours of laundromat duty, gas to drive there, and the self-esteem nightmare of laundromat lighting. All because you didn't want to say yes to the saleswoman's $800 suggestion. When you add it all up, you'd have been way better off just buying the dryer. Some decisions have a non-monetary cost. When you and your husband, wife, transgendered partner, or polyamorous family unit decide to go to dinner, you might want a sandwich, while they want to try a new ethnic restaurant where the food still has eyeballs. Should you graciously say yes, firmly say no, or debate? If you debate, it could become an argument. If you smile brightly and say, yes, let's be adventurous, you get major relationship brownie points, maybe even extra snuggling. If you say, no, let's discuss it, then even if you settle on the food with a face, you don't get the points. With interpersonal decisions, sometimes saying yes, dear, and bypassing the decision can be worth way more than getting your way. And you can always order the rice as a safe backup dish. If my first employers had just made decisions and spent money instead of spending money to not make decisions, they might have survived. You don't need to make their mistake. Today, put it to work. Review the major decisions that you're making about things to buy, places to go, people to see, and all that stuff. Notice how much work goes into each decision, and ask yourself how important each one really is. Then, for the decisions that aren't worth the cost of deciding, just flip a coin. You'll free up your mind, and you'll move things forward, and all for less than it would take to make a decision. You can also find a transcript of this episode at the website. So work less, do more, and have a great life.